And if someone sees where the alderman jumped on, just give me a signal. So we'll give it one more minute, and if she wants to address the audience, we'll let her do that at the end. We got a lot to cover today. Can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. As I said, we have a lot to cover today. Welcome to the August Seoul City Roundtable for the Chicago Avenue Corridor. My name is Jim Harbin. I'm a Deputy Commissioner here with the Department of Planning and Development. We do have quite a bit to cover. We are going to get an update from our Department of Transportation, and Wade Van Nortwick is going to talk through a streetscape initiative that is going to take place on the Chicago Avenue corridor. I'm actually going to walk the group through a program that we've tweaked over the summer called the TIF Purchase Rehab Program, which literally is something that has the department and the Department of Housing very excited. I'm also going to provide a quick and dirty and brief update on NOF and SPIF, and just kind of give you a heads up in terms of how you can connect to those two grant programs. Antonia Rupert is going to provide us an update with DCASE, with the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events. And then our corridor manager, Malcolm Crawford, is going to just update the stakeholders in terms of other activities taking place on the corridor. And then lastly, we'll certainly look at when the next corridor meeting roundtable is to take place. So as I like to do, just in case we got anyone new on the call, just a quick update that we are embarked on an initiative through the mayor's office called Invest South and West, where we literally have targeted 10 neighborhoods on the south and west sides of Chicago. You know, and you guys have heard this many times before, but just to reiterate, this initiative is a signal to anyone who would listen, particularly corridor constituents, community constituents, the philanthropic community, the private sector, and even other public and municipalities, that we are aiming resources and investments on the south and west sides of Chicago. And most of the things that you're going to hear today is going to be a result of this initiative. There's some community agreements in place. Please mute yourself during the presentation so you guys can hear what everyone is saying. State your name when you do get an opportunity to speak. Let me close this out real quickly here. Please you can use the Zoom Q&A, but I have Ernest Bellamy on the call who will be looking at the Q&A function. And again, we can take your questions both verbally and through the Q&A. You can certainly raise your hand and Ernest will recognize that. All the questions and ideas that come across, as you guys know, are valid, and we will respond accordingly. And please make sure that everyone here treats each other with the utmost respect. Before we get into that TIF purchase, we have, as I said before, I have Wade Van Nortwick on the call, and he's actually going to take over the screen and walk us through an exciting proposal coming to the corridor through the Chicago Department of Transportation. Wade, if you want to go ahead and take it away, you certainly can. I will stop sharing and allow you to go.
All righty, thank you, Jim. Can everyone see my screen? Just real quick. Anyway, to reintroduce myself, my name is Wade Van Nortwick. I'm the project manager for CDOT for the Chicago Avenue Streetscape uh, project. And we are mainly here to announce that we are going to be having our first public meeting Tuesday of next week from 6 o'clock to 7:30. It will be through Zoom, and you can register through the link that is on the screen. For anyone who's on the phone, it's tinyurl.com/ISW Chicago Avenue. That's abbreviated Avenue AVE meet MEET1. So, and it is not case sensitive, so you don't have to be too worried or frustrated about that. And there will be an online survey after the meeting to collect everyone's feedback. And the main purpose of this meeting is to, one, introduce the community to the CDOT team, as well as introduce the community to the project. We wanted to discuss opportunities, as well as get feedback on primarily the priorities of the community when it comes to the street layout and the streetscape. We're not starting from scratch. We're working off several past studies of Chicago Avenue, mainly things like the Austin Quality of Life Plan, DPD's Soul City Plan, and several of the past Vision Zero projects that have been done. And we're just going over that and just making sure the community is still on board with that. The project, and again, the project only focuses here in terms of what CDOT is doing on the public right-of-way aspect. We're not really looking at developments or what's happening on the private side. But again, please join us for our public meeting on Tuesday. And just a quick reminder, quick overview of what we'll be talking about on Tuesday, as well as the project. This is part of the Invest Southwest initiative from Lori Lightfoot to reactivate the neighborhood cores that have historically need more focus on pedestrian activity, shopping, services, transportation, and whatnot, and et cetera. The project includes public outreach, placemaking, urban design, and we'll be doing concept level, which is where we're still at now, and then detailed design, and then it'll go on to the construction of the corridor. The overall project, we're going to be doing you can think of this more as a reconstruction project more than just a streetscape beautification. We will be doing full width repaving. We will be rebuilding sidewalks. We will be rebuilding ADA crosswalks, ramps, street lighting, traffic signals, pavement markings, new curb and gutters, working on drainage. But we will also be doing beautification. Our main goal is to build safe, walkable, and attractive streetscapes to foster community and economic growth. We're here to support the Invest Southwest program through reactivation of neighborhood cores, improve walkability, and to help define and establish a brand, incorporating what's been done with this whole city corridor for the identity, and to reconfigure the streets, calm traffic, widen sidewalks, make it easier for people to walk and live through the corridor. As I said, based already on the repaving of the street, these are some of the components that you can look forward to. And this is a very, very brief slide of what will be happening. We'll be looking at pavers, bike racks, safety upgrades, planters, trees, enhanced crosswalks, not just, with that you can see here, as well as seating and bump outs. And some of what we're asking for feedback on is some of this extra space that we're creating through this project on what we can do to further activate it. Like, for example, in the bump outs, it could be a plaza, seating area, planters. We would like feedback on that from the community. And again, this is just a very short list of what we're doing. We have a long list of tools and solutions. We just want to make sure that it's appropriate for here. And then just to briefly go over the project schedule, we're here in the summer, public meeting number 1 with the survey, and we'll be showing preliminary and developing preliminary concepts. Coming in the fall and the winter, we'll be taking what we're doing, creating more detailed concepts, and then presenting again to the community to get further feedback. And then we'll be possibly having having a third one further in the winter and the spring. And again, this is kind of more the overall project schedule of right now we're in the design development. Coming next year, we'll be doing the more detailed design, and you can expect construction to begin kind of very late 2022 and going on to 23 and 24. The construction will be done in several segments. We don't know what that's going to be yet, like where the lines are. That will be determined. We just haven't gotten there yet. We are still in the very broad view of things right now. And just again, please join us at the public meeting. You can see the URL on the screen. And then some other things to look forward to. Territory are doing some youth engagement coming up. They're going to be doing a kind of pop-up activation site, and that's something to look forward to. And then if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please come to the Chicago Avenue Project website. It's again on the screen, tiny URL, /ISW Chicago Avenue, and again abbreviated Avenue. There's a comment box at the bottom of the screen. Anything that you enter there will be sent directly to me. And also the Streetscape team will be coming back here to the roundtable to update everybody on the design process. And we can now open it up to questions. Just for the sake of time, I just asked that everything be, the questions right now be towards questions about the meeting as well as public outreach. Any general kind of questions, please submit them through the website and we'll get to them at the public meeting. And if your question is even further, like what's happening in front of my building on this corner, something very detailed like that, the answer is going to be like, we don't really know yet. We haven't gotten that far. So thank you.
And Wade, thank you so much for that. Did anyone have any questions for Wade and his team today? And I know Ernest is looking at the chat, just in case someone wants to put their questions there. But does anyone have any questions for CDOT? Okay, all right, well, thank you. I do want to welcome Wade, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And people can reach out to you given the information you've shared today. And I'm sure questions will arise, and good luck on the meeting. Hopefully I'll be able to attend as well. Thank you again.
Right, thank you.
I see where the Alderman has joined us. Alderman Mitch, did you want to say hello before we continue?
Hello, everyone, and thank you all for joining us. I know we have a great group on here that's going to help to make our Chicago Avenue look very beautiful once we get through selecting how we want it to look. So I look forward to working along with all of you. Thank the Department of Planning for all your hard work that you've done up to this point in preparing the presentation. I know that it takes a lot, but I'm looking forward to continuing to work to help beautify the west side, which is the best side. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Alderman.
Miss Talia? Yes. All right, how you doing? Good.
Okay, we're going to continue. I am. There we go. So the next item on the agenda today is a program that literally has been on the books for quite some time here at the Department of Planning. It used to be called by the way, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Very good. The program used to be called, and please bear with me on this one, the Multifamily TIF Purchase Rehab Program. It was launched back on May 4th in 2011, and it was designed to help developers acquire and rehab vacant multifamily residential properties. And I emphasize residential because part of the tweaking that we did with the program is going to impact what we can use this particular resource for now. The The requirements for the program then, it was triggered only by a purchase. And that purchase had to be of a vacant multifamily residential building. Obviously, it had to be designated, located within a designated TIF district. So this chart looks a little confusing, but we're going to make some heads and tails out of it. So what the program was designed to do was to help encourage affordability in terms of when investors look to invest in certain communities. We wanted to make sure that there was going to be a mechanism in place to make sure that those rehab units were going to remain affordable. So part of the requirements were, at 50% AMI, the average median income for that particular area. If an individual wanted to or was ready to commit to providing 30% of the units that they were looking to rehab, then the city was prepared to offer 30% assistance in terms of that total project cost. If that developer was interested in committing to 40% affordable units, then the city was in turn committing to do 40% of the total project cost. And subsequently, the same with 50%. If there was going to be a commitment in terms of providing that type of affordability within that community, then the city was going to be prepared to do 50% of that total rehab cost. We did have another requirement that the cost had to equate to at least $25,000 per unit, so that rehab, so we could ensure that rehab was going to be done at a quality at that time that we deemed was manageable. And there also was a requirement that there had to be, that the trigger was going to be 6 units. So you had to do at least 6 units in order to trigger this program. What's so interesting about the program even then, and it's actually something that we kept embedded into the program, is that those 6 units didn't have to be in one edifice. In other words, you could have done a combination as long as the properties were within 2 blocks of each other. You could do a 3-flat on one block and another 3-flat on another block. You could have done 2, 2, 2, 5, and 1. Any iteration of 6 would have triggered this program. And then what we also were asking was that affordability period be committed to for at least 15 years. And so this program has been active along the Chicago Avenue corridor for quite some time. But what we found is that, unless there was a residential unit, again, that was vacant, again, that was within that TIF, and someone looking to make that commitment, we weren't getting a lot of traction on the program. And so as a result, we not only looked at how we could tweak the program, but we also activated 12 more corridors within the city of Chicago. And just to give you an idea of how this program was used before, this is a case study at 521 North Holman, which was completed in 2018. The total project cost was around $1 million. And what that developer at that time committed to was 40% of this 8-unit building, which equated to 3 units. As a result, the city was prepared to do 40% in terms of providing TIF assistance in that total project cost in order to get this project done. And what really kind of triggered us to look at this is that with a commitment of 40% and an individual getting or requesting 40% assistance through this program, the city was able to leverage almost $600,000 in investment into the community. And, after taking a close and hard look at that, that is the type of leverage that our incentive programs should be chasing all day long. And so if we could enhance this program in order to make it more accessible, not just focused on residential units, we thought that, and still do believe, that we've got a tool that can help enhance our corridors. So the objective was to target, these smaller mixed-use projects, not at that level of the RPs that we've been doing across the city, but where you have that residential mix on the top and those commercial storefronts on the bottom, and provide enhanced tools for developers who didn't just necessarily want to invest in residential, but were interested in activating these commercial storefronts as well. And then We also wanted to tweak it and help, not just those individuals who were looking to purchase and not those individuals who were just looking for those vacant buildings, but also those developers who were looking to purchase where buildings were partially occupied, and also where existing owners who have been owning those homes and who may have had opportunity to maybe one source of financing for the residential, or through our Spiffing and Web program, one source of financing for the commercial. We wanted to combine it into this one single tool. And as we start looking across the city, and many of you already know, the city is peppered with these type of properties. And all these properties that you see here today is on our Invest South and West corridors. And this is just a sample size. What this sample size also represents is also, individuals who have at least signaled to us that they're interested in this program, or where the project is actually for sale and it's available for potential investors to utilize this program. And again, I don't have to, signal to this group. You guys know, and Chicago Avenue is certainly one of those corridors that has many of this type of profile. And so what we wanted to do with the program is tweak it. And as a result of some hard work and the collaboration with the Department of Housing, with our department, we got an opportunity to take this to all of the aldermen through all 50 wards, and subsequently took it to City Council this past June. And the amendment changes that we looked to tweak was to allow now for both vacant and occupied buildings to be eligible. As long as they're interested in taking along that affordability, they become eligible for the program. We also wanted to allow the rehab of both the commercial and residential spaces as part of the existing package, where it didn't have to be a bifurcation of you need to pull funds from one source to do the residential and another source to do the commercial. Both can be done with this program. We did want to make sure that as a result of going through a program like this, that individuals who participated, didn't owe the city through any type of violations or scofflaws. So there will be a thorough check of scofflaws before individuals can tackle this program. But, even then, it still would allow for existing owners, people who have been on the buildings, some of the buildings that have been vacant for years as a result of not necessarily having the right tools to engage in the renovation of these projects. Now we want to have those existing owners be eligible. And then we also wanted to lower that threshold, that $25,000 threshold. Back then made sense. Today it doesn't. $10,000 with groups who know what they're doing can still pull off a quality product. So how does it compare? So in the previous ordinance, the property had to be vacant. It was only residential, only new owners, $25,000 threshold, and a 50% AMI. What we've tweaked in the way the program exists today is partial occupancy is eligible. Residential and commercial is also eligible. We can target now new and existing owners. That threshold, as I alluded to before, is now down to $10,000 per unit. And we felt that it made more sense to have 80% AMI as opposed to the 50% given today's market. So with that, I want to make sure that this group knew that this program is now available. We are working with not only the Department of Housing, but also with the Community Investment Corporation, CIC, and Jonah Hess. I am more than happy to talk to anyone who's interested in taking a deeper dive with this program and answering any questions as a one-off. But right now, I want to open it up and see if there are any immediate questions with this stakeholder group regarding the program.
I have a question, Jim.
Sure.
So when you said it could be residential and does that mean that it has to be a multi-use space? So let's say, could it be just a commercial property with no, multi-family or multi-use, like an apartment above it?
Mm-hmm.
Could it be just a commercial space?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. So in other words, could it be like 6 units and you want to have another commercial space as another building, or you got an existing building that has multiple units? Thank you. And so in other words, can there be one-offs? Can there be iterations of this? The short answer is yes. The longer answer is we would need to hear and understand the project in more detail. Again, the trigger for this program, Vanessa, is affordable housing units. So we're trying to use this program to activate that. And as a result, we want to see iterations of that, obviously, because we think adding that commercial piece to this just makes good sense, but not if it's not triggering any affordable units being developed as a result.
Okay, so let me just clarify. So if I had a commercial space on a commercial corridor and I had 2 other properties with a total of 5 units, that something like that would qualify.
Yeah, let's talk.
Okay.
That's my short answer. Let's have a conversation.
Okay.
We want to figure that out. What we
is-
found when we took this to city council is that, and I can hear your interest in this program. Well, all the aldermen that we shared this with, they're interested in this program too. And so what we want to do is to see how much autonomy do we have. If we're going to trigger again affordability, let's talk about that, because you could do 6 units in 2 buildings and maybe want to add a commercial piece to that within that 2 blocks. That's a conversation we want to have. And between ourselves, Department of Housing, CIC, we're going to be able to come up with an answer to that pretty quickly.
Okay, this is Shirley Fields.
Hey, Shirley.
I have a question. I'm very excited about hearing this program. If you don't already know, I am a realtor, and then I live in the community, and we would like to be a part of this program. Latricia and I, our company, LNS Development. So we're so interested in learning more and how it actually works.
Okay. Yeah, we can always circle back if you guys want to take a deeper dive. I will have to add this, and I know you guys have a project going that you guys are going to develop almost from the ground up, which is different than this. This is renovating the existing stock. This program is for people in buildings that are already here. We just want to make sure we got a tool to renovate that. But I hear you. And yes,
and we can do residential properties and residential communities. Exactly. As long as it equals 6 units.
That's right. I
love it. Okay.
Okay.
When can we
I have a
start?
question?
I'm sorry?
When can we get started? Okay.
Yeah, you know what? This you guys have my contact information. You just reach back out, we'll get on the calendar.
Okay.
Okay. And my question is in reference to the amount of the rehab per unit. I guess me considering the cost of materials have gone up, skyrocketed. So to reduce that amount is kind of putting the quality of the unit in, I don't know. I guess that's a concern for me. And I guess when I think about the contribution, so the contribution used to be up to the amount of tenants you would allow in the building, you get a certain percentage of assistance from the city. And what did you say the new percentage is? No,
the percentages stay the same. The only thing that's changed here is the threshold in terms of how much we require you to spend for renovation.
Okay.
Latricia, we reduced it.
Right. So, okay. So that doesn't mean that's the maximum amount you will be willing to contribute. So if I decide to put 25,000 into 1 unit, you all will still pay the percentage for that amount as long as I put the qualified tenants in the building.
That's exactly right. And by the way, and I had another slide here that I, for some reason, didn't make it to this deck. But yeah, this number now is 10,000. So as long as you do at least 10,000 per unit, you're in the game.
So basically, this would assist more people in qualifying.
That's exactly right.
Got it. Okay, cool. All right, because I actually have a 4 unit in mind that I was thinking about picking up. So it just has to be in a certain area.
Well, it is in the Austin area, so.
Right, but it doesn't have to be on Chicago Avenue, correct?
It doesn't have to be on the Chicago Avenue, but we're aiming at Chicago Avenue. So
it's really close to Chicago Avenue. Okay.
Let's make sure we're clear about that.
Yeah, I wish I can find something close on. Well, we probably can, but yeah, very interested in this program. Thank you.
Could you go
No.
back
Alright.
to the previous, hi, this is Audrey. Could you go back to the previous slide? I think those numbers were there. Let me see. I think it was. Was it that one? Oh, that's an 8 unit. I think you say as long as they're 3 units, correct? 3 units and above.
Yeah, so that's this slide. I'm sorry. Let's see if I can't go back. That's this slide here. So the minimum number of units is 6,
Uh-huh.
but we can do 6 in iterations of, again, it doesn't have to all be in the same building.
Okay.
They do need to be within 2 blocks of each other.
Okay.
We have a raised hand from Ethan.
Okay?
Oh, hello. My name is Ethan and I'm with Austin Coming Together.
Mhm.
I'm just, did you say with this new ordinance, the affordability requirement is going up to 80% AMI or did?
That's correct.
So what would that, because I know that's kind of jargon for some, like what
Yeah.
would that mean for a 3-bedroom apartment? How much more will people be paying essentially for a 3-bedroom apartment now under this new ordinance versus when it was 50% AMI?
Mhm. Yeah, so for that answer, Ethan, make sure that you get my contact information and Ernest will put it in the chat. Yeah, I would loop in the Department of Housing who can directly answer that question. I don't want to get into, because you're right, there's a lot of jargon there, and there really needs to be context in terms of how AMI is calculated, so you can have a very clear answer.
Right. Okay, that sounds great. Because sometimes I know 80 AMI could mean it might not feel super affordable for some Austin residents. So just wanting to
Yeah.
have clarity around that and hope that this group can have clarity around that too.
Yeah, and even though I'm going to wildly throw out some information here, which I probably shouldn't, but almost all the rents in Austin are affordable. So I think hitting that that percentage and that AMI, I don't think many investors are going to have trouble. Okay. Any other questions?
Can we look at like HUD's list of rental amounts for that?
You
think that'll be a
can.
good gauge?
You
Okay.
can, or you can get direct answers from the
Okay.
Department of Housing, and all you got to do is circle back with me.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Anybody else?
Very,
Hey, guys. Yeah.
this Audrey,
Go ahead.
how does this play into the other grant that's going on right now? Where I think it's the NOFO grant. Am I saying that right? Does it play into part with grants where you can get up to 250,000?
Yeah. So that's a great question. It's
Very
a
good.
fantastic question.
Okay.
So part of it is this: if you as an investor are interested in renovating one of these properties on the screen right now, and if you've got tenants who are interested in going into those locations, you can utilize this program in order to do the build out for those tenants without reaching out into any other program. The program is there to help support you doing the renovation of your residential and the commercial spaces to the degree you want it. If you, however, want to pick up one of these buildings and you don't have those tenants identified yet, and you want to bring these commercial spaces up to a vanilla box level, a vanilla box capacity, if you will, then those vanilla boxes are now eligible for entrepreneurs, whether they come, that next week, that next month, that next year. If we are in an open application period, those potential tenants can qualify for our NOF grant program, and they can bring that program to the table to this program. We have no trouble adding that layer to help get those storefronts fulfilled.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is Tina Augustus. I have a question. I'm not sure if I missed it or if anyone asked it. Are any of these properties on the Cook County Land Bank list?
Actually, that's a fantastic question. And my short answer is going to be no on these because we actually engaged owners on this. But you raise a great point. You know, nothing prohibits investors from looking at the Cook County Land Bank Authority's inventory and, you know, having with this project in mind, with this particular program in mind. You know, one of the things that we even want to do as, you know, collaborating with the Department of Housing is to, and as a matter of fact, we're engaged with Cook County Land Bank Authority to start creating an inventory that we can list. Particularly, you know, our focus right now is on the corridors across the city. So we don't we don't want any one of these type of projects to be on the corridor that we're not highlighting as available, because we know we've got a tool now that can help support the potential renovation of these projects. So that's a fantastic question. Are there any more questions?
I came on, Jim. The pictures you're showing, is any of these pictures over here on Chicago Avenue? I can't see the bottom address on the screen.
Yeah, there's one
Do
at
we have any that's on Chicago Avenue here?
Yeah, I don't have any that far west, Alderman, and that's one of the reasons why, you know, this group of stakeholders is the first roundtable in which we start sharing this program now being available. We hope that, you know, because we weren't able to, through our efforts, you know, find individuals who were, you know, yet to be interested in this program, or more importantly, owners who were looking to sell and just for whatever reason couldn't and wanted to have this as part of the conversation. So we're looking for that. So yeah, Chicago Avenue is wide open now in terms of identifying either owners who want to renovate themselves or owners who want to liquidate and want to make sure that they know they've got support by tools being, you know, literally on the ground now to help potential investor come in and do the renovation of these projects.
Jim, the
Yes.
4201 West Roosevelt Road, right there in K-Town. It has an X on it. Is that the X? The X goes to that property?
You know what? I'm not sorry about that. I'm not sure what that is. No, but this is a glitch. I have no idea where that came from. Yeah.
So that property is available?
Yes, as far as we understand now, yes, that owner has been trying to sell that property for some time, and yes, it's still available. And by the way, it's not just the building, it's this smaller storefront and the lot that he's trying to sell.
What address is that?
This is 4201 West Roosevelt.
That's Keeler and Roosevelt.
That's right.
Shirley.
That's exactly right. It's right across the street from the Alderman's office, as a matter of fact. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah, we're actually excited about this one too, guys. So happy to circle back. Don't hesitate to reach out. I believe Ernest has put my information in the chat. You know, most of you guys have my contact information already. So yeah, don't hesitate to use it. Friendly reminder, speaking of grants, the Small Business Improvement Fund is going to open up along the corridor and within that TIF starting in September, which is about 2 weeks away. As you guys know, it's a grant program that for the most part allows up to $150,000 for renovation support for small businesses looking to, you know, do hard, tangible renovations to a particular project. There's contact information if you guys want to get some early info in terms of, you know, what this program is. I know AAA BNA and Malcolm Crawford had an info session, I think a couple of weeks ago, and there's going to be another one, Vanessa, I believe, at your location at Westside Health Authority coming up, I think on the 1st, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be at your location.
Yes.
But yeah, between Mary and Nora, our team over at Summer Corps, you couldn't have a better team on this program. It's impossible. So look out for that coming up in 2 weeks. And then our grant program, the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund, you know, we just opened up this past Monday. We're going to be open and have our open application till September 24th. As you guys know, our small business grant program is up to $250,000. Sometimes what gets lost in our campaign with this program is that not only do we provide those dollars, but we also, if you are selected, we provide technical assistance. And by the way, I said that like the Small Business Improvement Fund doesn't. It does. Both programs will literally take you by the hand and give you a path to successfully navigate both programs. And again, our contact information is out there. Our open application is online right now. You can go to nof@cityofchicago.org and run right smack into the grant. You can do chicago.gov. You can do NOF Chicago. Any iteration is going to take you directly to our website. And I encourage you guys on the call that if you have a business, and I know many of you have participated in this grant program, but please help us get the word out. We want to use this group in order to echo when we're marketing for these type of programs, so other small businesses can also benefit. Are there any questions regarding either grant program and their open application?
Yes, this is Audrey. I have a question. It's
Sure.
regarding development over on, I want to say, Central and I want to say Washington. It was over there by the Austin High School. There is a large amounts, a lot that's sitting there, and I wanted to know, is there any particular development that's going to be going on as far as creating new housing in that particular area where there's a big hole?
Well, the short answer is I don't know, but I'm happy to help. Shoot me an email, and the more specific you can be about the location, the faster it's going to help me kind of land and give you some answers. But right now, I'm not aware of any project.
Can I jump in real quick, John?
Sure.
So I just wanted to share with everyone that we are creating just a seminar to share all of this information about these business grants in the Seoul City corridor, which is also SSA 72 corridor. We're partnering with Alderman Mitz. I'm going to have that in her community room on the 31st of August, Tuesday morning. So we're making it real early. So to have all those business people come out. So it starts at 8 a.m. We'll have breakfast. But we just want to offer all of these amazing opportunities for small businesses. And also, we're looking at, what other types of funding opportunities we can also have in the space. But we want to have everybody in one space so people can, see all their options and, pick out the best product for them. So I will be sharing the information with AAA BNA. That information will go out. We should have a flyer by Monday, but I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that here today. And I did have a question, but I don't remember it. When I remember, I'll throw my hand back up, but thank you, Jim.
No, thank you for that.
And Vanessa, make sure you share that with the Austin Chamber as well, so that we can get it out to our.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'll be reaching out to you, Tina, because like I said, I would love to have everyone in the community that has anything to do with business, small business, entrepreneurship, all of those things that, I want everybody in the room because I really want everyone to see the amount of resources that are here. So what I'm going to be requesting from everyone on this call is to share it with your networks, because we want to get as many people as we can. It will be both virtual and in person. So, we also want to have that available for businesses too.
Okay. No, thank you so much for that, Vanessa. That's extremely helpful. And Tina, I don't think you and I have met, and I'm hoping that maybe you and I can circle back. I certainly would love to meet you. You guys have so many resources along that corridor and in the Austin area that, I just want to make sure I'm connected to you and the work that you're doing so that we don't have any blind spots over here at the Department of Planning.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Are there?
We have another raised hand from Asia.
Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. So I just want to say that I'm excited that all of these things are going on. But my question and my concern is, how do these things affect or help the residents who are not considered to be stakeholders, but would like to be a part of things like this? How are we creating programs that are helping residents in Austin to become stakeholders and have businesses or have properties or be able to acquire these things? Because often this is what happens, where there's a lot of people who are already established or have these connections or know about these resources, but then the residents just see things going up. So my concern is always, how do we reach the people who are not on these calls?
Yeah. So I and forgive me for saying it this way, but I hope you can appreciate where I'm going. I want to have that as an open question to everybody on this call, because again, we want to make sure we get the word out. And you're right, we need to be spreading this word across the entire Austin community. And just to even get a little bit into the weeds in terms of what you suggested, one of the things that we're considering here, and again, we're collaborating with the Department of Housing, is what kind of programs can we trigger, or in some cases even re-trigger, to talk about, programs that assist existing homeowners with, doing renovations in their buildings, in their houses. So we're having that conversation. We're trying to tee that up and, make sure we have something comprehensive to bring to the table. So we're thinking about that. But again, yes, we're looking for any means necessary. And if you, have a group that you want me to speak to, I would be more than happy to do that. But yes, I'm looking for ideas on how we can do this better. So I hope that answers your question. Aisha, did that answer your question?
It did, Jim. And
Okay.
I'll definitely follow up with you so we can figure that out.
Okay, very good.
Jim, can you drop your contact information in the chat again? I joined, I believe, after when you mentioned it, that's when I was joining.
Okay, yeah. Ernest, I think Ernest is going to be on top of that.
Yep, I'll be right on top of it.
Okay. Any other questions regarding these grant programs, guys? Okay, we're going to move on. We have Antonia.
One question. This is Audrey. Will we be having any joining banks that would like to be a part of this, as well as we're looking at the community and banks that can be involved?
Yeah, so both the Small Business Improvement Fund and the NOF grant program have lending institutions as partners. And so we are more than happy to make connections when, our applicants, particularly our finalists, reach out and say they need that type of assistance. In terms of the TIF Purchase Rehab program, the Community Investment Corporation is a financial institution, and they work with other financial institutions to help do that financing part. If you're doing 30, 40, 50%, well, somebody has to do that other 70, 60, 50%. So yeah, they are a financial institution. In many cases, they help support with lending tools, but they also work with other financial institutions. They help deal with that as well.
Awesome, thank you.
Anybody else? And again, guys, I'm happy to circle back later. If you guys, something pops in your head, just, reach out. I'm more than happy to, get on the call with you and walk you through it. So for the sake of time, I want to now pivot over to our artist in residence and Miss Antonia Rupert, who's going to walk us through what's happening in terms of her work with Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events. Antonia, are you on the call?
Yes, I am, Jim. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share. And first off, good afternoon, everybody. I just appreciate your support in this. Yes, I am Antonia Rupert, and I am the artist in residence for Austin. And I just want to highlight that the Austin Art Showcase is coming September 12th through the 25th for 2 weeks. This Decase and Invest Southwest initiative will celebrate the talents and vibrant creative community that's right here in Austin. The art is from over 20 local artists of all ages. And so we've covered the gamut here. Much of the artwork was created during workshops this summer, led by myself and other partners, including the artist Jesse Howard, Alt Space Chicago, Edwin the Artist, and with some in-kind sponsorship by the LaGrange Art League. So I'm really excited about that. Over 30 businesses will feature this art in their windows from Chicago Avenue, from Cicero to Austin. And the community can come out and partake in the Soul City Blues event that's happening on September 12th, and also take a look at the art that's going to be in the local businesses. So this is how you can participate. You can participate by joining in as a business. You can see AAA BNA for more information about that. We're working to get the artwork to the businesses through them. You could also bring your friends and your family to our kickoff on September the 12th. I have an updated flyer, which I'll be more than happy to share out. My contact information I will include in the chat. It's just been a delight to have your support on this. And now I'll turn it over to Lydia Ross with DK, and she'll share more about the Soul City Blues Initiative.
Thanks, Tony. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I see a lot of familiar faces on the call. I work with DK as the Director of Public Art, and I've been working closely with Antonia and Malcolm and Corey at AAA BNA, and many other folks who have been supporting the Austin Art Showcase. We can't wait to celebrate artists young and mature all along Chicago Avenue. I also wanted to make a plug on behalf of my incredible music colleagues. This is the season where DCASE has music programming all over the city. And in particular, Ernest, you can go to the blue slide. Thanks. Third slide. We just launched our Chicago in Tune Festival last night. There are over 100 free events between now and September 19th. But I wanted to call your attention to the Soul City Blues performance in Austin. It's Sunday, September 12th at Chicago and Mayfield. And from noon to 8 p.m., there is a nonstop lineup of stellar performers, many of whom live in or have deep roots in Austin. And this program is really celebrating the Austin community and the history of blues on Chicago's West Side. So it is free. You don't have to register, just show up. I will plug the web address into the chat here so you can read more details about this performance and other West Side and South Side blues events happening over the next month. So we really hope to see you out there on the 12th, and thanks for giving me a minute of your time.
Thank you so much, Lydia. Did anyone have any questions for Lydia or Antonia? Okay, thanks, guys. That's very helpful. Lastly, we are going to turn things over to our corridor manager at AAA BNA. And Malcolm, you want to walk us through an update along the corridors?
Hi, Jim. Malcolm's not going to be able to join us on this call, but I will be able to present on behalf of him, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all, Corey. That's very good.
Yep, I'm keeping the ball rolling. I know I presented at the last one, so I've been working on my game, so I'm ready for this.
Okay, Corey, do you have your slides? For some reason, I don't have your slides here, but I can grab them if you give me a moment, or if you want to grab the screen, I'll give you the opportunity to share. That's okay. You know what? I'm gonna find it.
Okay. If for some reason you can't, I can do my best.
I apologize for that. Okay.
As Jim, as you're doing that, let me make an announcement. I have my back to school event tomorrow on Chicago Avenue from 10 to 1 o'clock. And due to the pandemic and coming out, I usually do a gospel fest. But this year I felt that even if we couldn't do the gospel fest, due to the lateness of the year of lifting the mandate, I wanted to show some love to the children. So if the parents would bring their children out, we may be able to bless our children as well as the parents with some items to help them out. And that will be from 10 to 1, first come, first serve. So come on out and let's have a good time, and then we can move on with our day. So thank you all very much. That's right on Chicago Avenue between Lamont and Laverne.
Okay, thank you so
Thank you,
much for that,
Jim.
Alderman. All right, Corey, sorry for the delay, but the show is yours again. Go ahead.
All right, thank you, Jim, and thank you everybody for hanging on this long. There's been a lot of exciting things happening in the corridor, so I'm getting ready to share a little bit of what's been happening since July. And so first, you can see here we have the Seoul City Corridor Back to School Parade. This is the first ever Seoul City Parade. I want to give a special shout out to Elizabeth Lockhart of the Arthur Lockhart Resource Institute for having, I think this was her 33rd. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that number. I believe this was a 33rd annual Back to School Say No to Drugs and Violence Parade. And Elizabeth Lockhart, thank you, Dr. Lockhart, for allowing AAA BNA to help in this effort. This was my first ever parade, so I was very excited. As you can see, Malcolm and Representative Lilly are kind of reiterating that excitement on the float. Thank you, Alderman Mitz, for allowing me to be able to sit on your float in my first ever parade. And I look forward to the second parade that'll be next year. You know, hopefully we can make this annually. The South Shore Drill Team was able to show up. They did a phenomenal job. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna meet that call.
You got to unmute yourself. You're muted.
Thank you for that. Also for this parade, we were able to create signage for the corridor. You'll see a little bit of that later in one of the later slides. We also wanted to give a shout out to Gift of Hope. Thank you, Gift of Hope, for partnering with us on this effort. They were able to also put up banners in the corridor, and the family was able to come out and see their loved ones as they walked down the street for the parade. And so we can go to the next slide here. Yeah, and these are some of the updates on the new businesses here in the Seoul City Corridor. So first, you have the Rising Stars Youth Program, phenomenal building, wonderful, wonderful business owner. She's been doing a great job of activating the community space. The pop courts, she's been able to utilize that space for what she's doing in the community. We also have Allen Construction Capital Management. And man, this brother is powerful. He's bringing training here to the corridor, and he wanted his business to be specifically placed in the Seoul City corridor. And so as we get more legs with the corridor, we have more businesses coming. And so thank you to Allen Construction for coming to the corridor and being a resource for the young men in the community, showing them skills and trades. Next, we have the Dream Team Office Suites. Marcel Jackson, who actually had an office downtown, he's been very involved with the Seoul City process. As you all know, he does have the project, the Seoul City, the Seoul City Studios that he's bringing. He was able to receive some city funding for that. And he did open up the Dream Team Office Suites. As you can see there in the picture, that is him, Malcolm, and Maria Pappas. And so in that, Maria Pappas did come to our corridor and walk and wanted to learn a little bit more about the businesses, wanted to be involved. So thank you to the Cook County Treasurer, Sonia, and Maria Pappas for coming to walk the corridor and learn a little bit more about the businesses. Secondly, we have the Nest. That is the white building that you see on the top right and also the bottom right. They're also a training facility. They're going to be doing things such as CPR training and a little bit of things of that nature. And, last but not least, we do have the Chicago Esports Bar, which is the first full-fledged licensed bar in the Seoul City corridor. So I just want to give, a round of applause for that. We have so many exciting things coming. And she also does food too. Her doors are beautiful. The windows open up on the street. And as a matter of fact, I believe Ernest wasn't with us, but DPD did come out and walk the corridor a couple weeks ago. So thank you to Commissioner Cox. He brought his whole team with him. I believe Vanessa was there and a couple other community stakeholders were there. So that was phenomenal. We can go to the next slide. Yep, so we have here the Seoul City Place land acquisition. So a developer from the community was able to gain site control finally. So the Seoul City Place, there'll be more information coming out about that, but this was a developer from the community. We do have site control. And in these pictures, you can see that the developer, we partnered with the developer to hire a local landscaper, which has been able to keep this space nice and clean. Thank you, WeCycle. That is David of WeCycle. He also gets youth in the community to come out and help. And so as you drive through the Seoul City corridor, if you see young brothers in these bright green vests, give a wave to them. Every time I see them out there, I just tell them thank you. They're really helping with their branding and helping to keep our corridor clean. So thank you, WeCycle, for that. We can go to the next slide. Yep, so this was our spiff rollout. I'll hit on the spiff rollout first. And Jim, I believe you hinted on this earlier. So we were able to host the first spiff rollout. This was phenomenal because 25 people RSVP, and when we got in the room, there was a count of 34 people. And not only were these people, but these were business owners. And so to be able to get business owners in a room that early, when they should be managing their storefronts, it really shows the dedication and the connections and the networks that we have as an organization to be able to fill up the room. And so I know they say imitation is the highest form of flattery. So I know there'll be another spiff rollout, and we'll be continuing to get this information out to the community. And also for our Main Street America training, I believe Gustavo is here on the call. Man, we were able to get 16 people stay on a call on a Saturday morning to Saturday afternoon for 4 hours. And so thank you for everyone that participated in that. Thank you, Gustavo, for being a huge help. Main Street America, Urban Main has been a huge help as we continue to create this vision for the Seoul City corridor and as we continue to follow the plans that are set in those plans for the Seoul City. So thank you for that, Gustavo. Thank you for that, Dion. And there is one more slide, I believe. You can go to the next slide. Yes, so these are our banners. Yes, so I have a huge connection to these banners. I'm the one who designed them. And so, I don't want to take all the credit myself. The AAA BNA team here in our office was able to help me with this. Malcolm was able to help me with this. Kayla and Kaji all put in their input. But, just to be a young person in my community, doing so much impactful work, and the work that I do here at AAA BNA, a part of the Corridor Managers Program, this was just simply amazing. My first parade, I'm on the float with Alderman Mitz and Representative Lilly and Malcolm Crawford, and to be able to go down the corridor and kind of see my handiwork, it gives you a sense of pride. And thank you, Gift of Hope, for also participating in this effort. Thank you to Chicago Event Graphics for helping with that installation. And as you can see, we do have the Seoul City West on there. So, just more markers so people know where they're at as they're driving through the corridor. And so I know I threw a lot at you. I might have went over time a little bit, but we have so many exciting things happening. I know Alderman Mitz hit on her back to school parade that will be on tomorrow. And so we are excited for that. Excited to work with DKs for the Seoul City Blues and Gospel Fest. We do have the 5K coming up September 25th. Please stay tuned to our newsletter as we will be sending more of that information out. And so that's all that I have. And Kayla Palmore, did you want to say a few things? I didn't want to forget you if you wanted to hop on.
Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know, I'm Kayla. I started here at AAA BNA at the beginning of this year. I just wanted to give a friendly reminder to everybody that we are a neighborhood business development center as well as a Chicago Business Center, and that AAA BNA is a business networking association, emphasize on the networking, so really helping people, connecting people, partnering with different organizations, you know, specific to what they might bring. But I just wanted to reiterate those things because, you know, sometimes it gets a little bit lost in the sauce, but we're always here. And we always give out this information in our newsletter. You can always call, email, check our website, check our social media. We put a lot of stuff out there. So yeah, that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Kyla, thank you so much for that. And Corey, outstanding job catching us up to all the activity happening along that corridor. I'm really enjoying ending my week with you guys. It's just uplifting to hear everything that's happening right now. Were there any questions for Corey or Kayla regarding the activity happening along the corridor? Okay. With that, we are a little bit over time, but I think it was certainly time well spent. Our next roundtable is going to be September 24th. I will just give a word of caution. It is the City of Chicago's budget season next month. That date could be a moving target, and if it is, we are going to try to make sure that if there's any movement of that date, that everyone on the call is alerted to any change on that date. But right now, we're going to table September 24th, excuse me, is our next roundtable. So with that, that concludes August roundtable for the Seoul City Corridor. Alderman Mitz, if you would love to close this out, I think we had a wonderful roundtable, and we'll be honored to have you close everyone out for the weekend.
Oh, I believe we may have lost Alderman Mitz.
Okay. All right. Well, then I will do the honor and wish everybody a great weekend. And, you know, what I like to tell the team over here at the City of Chicago, you know, play as hard as you guys work. You guys are kicking butt over there. Play as hard as you work and enjoy your weekend, guys.
Thank you.
I have
You
a
too.
question. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sorry to chime in so late. I have a question. Thank you, Corey and Kayla and everyone over at AAA BNA. But I wanted to ask, is it possible for us to get an arch that states "Welcome to Austin"? That's something that I see in other communities, and just wondering if that's possible.
Wonderful idea. Somebody's
This is Tina Augustus. I can speak to that. That will come from the 29th Ward participatory budget, and it has been placed on the suggestion list. It's been on the suggestion list for a number of years. So if we can get it on the ballot and we get enough people voting for it, we can get that arch.
Yeah. So
real quick, Jim.
Yeah, go ahead.
So another way to participate would be with the meeting that we're having next week with CDOT. So that's part of the plan for CDOT is to have beautification and art included into the corridor as we are changing the streetscape. So I would suggest that to be a part of those meetings so we can make it participatory. We can have people in the community participate. And that is, I believe, next Wednesday at 6 o'clock.
Hi, this is Way with CDOT. It's Tuesday next week. And yes, that's a great
Thank you.
question to bring to the streetscape meeting.
Yes.
So.
Okay.
Thank you
and the
so
question
much.
was, is it possible? And the answer is yes. Yes, it is possible. Let's be clear. So no, Thank you for that. Thank you for that question. All right, guys, we're a little bit over. Listen, I appreciate you guys' time. Have a great weekend, everyone. Have a great weekend. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Thank you, you too.
Have a good one.